Go with that 100%. I'm gonna tell you to go with that 100% because at the end of the day, you're never gonna stay consistent with something you're not passionate about. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I would rather have you if you like, yo, this is something like this is the audience that I want to pursue, and you're gonna stick with that and say, listen, I could be consistent because I'm passionate about it. Do it all day long. Trust me, I've changed my niche. It's so funny. I was looking at a business card. I woke up today and I'm like, where the hell does business card come from? But I had a business card for like one of the niches that I was doing. So I used to be a productivity coach. I changed my niche like 4 times and my audience like 4 times. Right now, I recommend that if you try to figure it out early, because if you spend 5 years creating something and then you got to start from scratch with a new audience, you got to realize like, okay, I got to start from scratch, right? So but however, you just getting started, so it's not a big deal for you. But if you know that this is the audience you want to impact, let's go for it.
Yeah. Like, oh, all I gotta do is just focus on this right now, and then I can do all that other stuff later, or
right,
all the other tricks later,
right?
For whoever, so
right. That's it, and that's the key, right? Most people, they look at these other gurus and they're like, well, but they're doing multiple things, and they're doing multiple things, and they're doing multiple things. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So so a lot of new people in our industry get tripped up and think they gotta help everybody, and they quit, or they wonder why they can't succeed, and it's because you're starting too broad too early. Get success in one area and then multiply. The next thing for you is to submit it. If you haven't submitted your playbook to us so we can look over it, we're gonna make sure that you answered everything. So if you haven't, go back through it and make sure you answered everything. And then just make sure like you just give the best answers that you can. That doesn't mean spend 2 months doing it. But what that means is that at least think for a second, right? And do it. Because if you're like, okay, well, you could have answered better, right? Because, I don't want you to overthink it. Please, I don't want you to do no perfectionism. Just put it out. Because we wouldn't be having this conversation had I overthunk everything 6 years or 7 years ago, right? So, so I just started doing stuff and figuring it out along the way. So that's what I want you to do. However, that's gonna change and update anyway, right? So just do that now. Submit it. You was on a call last night, right?
Yes.
So you know how to submit it in a Facebook group, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so just go ahead and do that. Let us review it. And approve it, and then what's gonna happen is once that's done, your next step is gonna be, and I'm actually gonna add this as part of the map, the PCS map. But your next step is gonna be to take what's in the Influencer Blueprint Guide and then start building it, because you got to create it, because at this point it's just on paper, right? Sure. So you actually got to build it. Like think about like a house, right? The house starts on paper first, but you still gotta build the house.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So now we got to build the house. So what that means is start with everything that's in the technology section. Like anything where we talk about the building a coaching program. So the technology section is, where are you hosting the replays? If you're going to be hosting replays or worksheets, set it up.
Okay.
How are you doing your coaching calls? Zoom or phone call?
I do both right now.
Cool.
Zoom.
Now,
ideally.
Perfect. How long your coaching call is going to be? An hour?
Hour, no longer than an hour and a half, and I set a timer.
Perfect. All right. So if you're going to do Zoom required to do more than 40 minutes. It requires a paid account.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a paid account, you got to get a paid account. Right? Paid account. I think now it's running for like $15. Right? So do a paid account. Right? So like that's what we mean when we say build it. So like go through the technology stuff, and then everything that's on there, actually build it and actually create it. We got recommendations. Obviously, that's what was in the playbook, right? So you can, whatever you selected, just actually go create it. If you have any questions on that, post it in the group, and somebody in the group will help you.
Okay.
Cool. All right, and then we'll take it forward from there. Meanwhile, while you're doing all of that, I still want you posting content.
Okay.
So just post content, just use some of the stuff that we talked about, use some of the core topics and things that we talked about yesterday.
Okay.
right? Easy stuff. Hey, you know what? Let me address in this video a common myth that most men
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you the number one mistake that men make when it comes to X.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? If I had to start this all over again, right? Or if I was advising this person, you feel what I'm saying? That's how
Mm-hmm.
you can do videos like that, and it'll be a lot more. It'll be potent. People will love it,
Right.
and meanwhile, while you're putting out content, you're building your background and you're building your business in the background.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but you good to go. You good to go, Halisi.
Well, thank you so much, Coach T. I'm excited.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
I hear
It's
it.
working. Like I can see this. I can see this shit working, and so I'm just excited to see the end results.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
I'm excited for you. Let's get it. All right. You know, we in your corner. So anything you need, let us know. But you got the marching order, so let's make it happen.
Okay.
All
Thank you.
righty. Take care. All right. Bye. Based on like, because we've had multiple conversations, right? So over the last few months. So tell me this: what do you feel like if you had to like take a step back and look at everything? Like, what do you feel like your biggest challenges?
I think my biggest challenge, one of the things I identify as my biggest challenge, is not having a social media presence and not like building one, right? So like I don't really have a social media presence. I signed up for a new Instagram name for official course,
Okay, nice.
but I don't have any content.
All right. When did you create the account?
I created an account. I'm gonna say about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so it still don't have any posts, is what you're saying.
No posts, no content.
All right, so let's focus on that. Let's focus on content. So, what do you feel like is preventing you from posting the content?
It's so silly, but I just feel like I don't have any content, so it's like, oh, I can't just create content overnight. You know what I mean? Like,
Got you.
I can't, like, 16 posts in one day. People will be like, oh, that's fraudulent. You know what I'm saying?
Got
like,
you. So it's twofold. I'm with you. That's so funny because that was one of the things that I used to have that same kind of mindset. Right? Is one I was definitely afraid of judgment and fear. Like, hey, if I put this out, first of all, what are people going to say? Am I going to get respected for it? And then the second thing I thought about was, well, what do I even talk about? So you already know you got years and years and years of experience and you're well respected in the game, right? So you already know that people are going to respect it. The thing with that is the biggest thing in terms of posting, it comes down to really you need a plan, right? So and it's funny because we got a session coming up on that to where I'm gonna talk about you really have to create a content calendar and a content schedule. What basically that is you put a time in your calendar where you create your content and you don't even have to think about it over the next week. So some people do it once per week, some people do it once per month. The people who don't post consistently are the people who try to do it every day. Meaning you try to create content every day because guess what? Things are going to pop up. You don't know what's unexpected is going to happen with the family, with bills. You didn't even know that you was going to be on a phone all day with this bill collector. Like, there's certain things that you can't anticipate. But what you can do is you can all in a week time span, you can always put aside an hour or two to just create all your content at once. So even if something happened throughout the day and you couldn't really be as productive as you wanted, you know you can always reach in that folder, pull something down, and take a minute and post it.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So so let's start there. Let's start there because the main thing is that it's like dominoes, right? Like if there's a domino missing, the rest of the dominoes won't fall. So in our case, the domino is you structured your coaching program, you know what you're offering people, but the